What's going on, everyone? Deshaun Watson. He was a star among stars entering the league. I mean, he was a franchise cornerstone from the very jump. And many believe that he was a player and a quarterback that could lead your team to a Super Bowl. So it made a ton of sense why the Cleveland Browns would want to trade for somebody like that, right? Cleveland believes that they are in contention. They believe that all they need is a quarterback and they will be in a Super Bowl. So they pushed all their chips to the table to acquire Deshaun Watson. The issue with the Cleveland Browns deciding to go after Deshaun Watson is all of the allegations centered around Deshaun Watson prior to the trade, right? I mean, for those that don't know, just to kind of fill you in, I have to be careful because it is YouTube, but he has 24 cases now against him for misconduct. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Google it. Just Google Deshaun Watson. It'll come up, believe me. And it's ridiculous, the type of stuff that he is said to have done. Now, whether it turns out that he has or not, that is yet to be seen. We'll find that out. But nonetheless, I mean, that is big enough in and of itself. He is a guy that hasn't played football in a while, right? And now there's a lot of questions. Will he be able to deliver? Will he be able to be that franchise cornerstone quarterback once again? But he might not even have the chance this year with the Cleveland Browns because it looks like the NFL is going to meet about giving Deshaun Watson a full season ban, which would be huge if this was the case. Granted, I mean, people have done a lot in the NFL and not received a full season ban. So I don't know necessarily if it will be a full season ban. But with 24 allegations, I mean, that's pretty hefty. This isn't just one or two people that look like, oh, okay, they're just trying to get a quick bag or something like that from him. I mean, this many people, whether even if a majority of them are just making it up, there's got to be several of him in which that this happened to. Not everybody just gets 24 allegations to this level. I mean, you're talking like Bill Cosby standards, which is just, it's sickening. It really is. And Deshaun Watson on the Cleveland Browns, it just kind of seems like a Cleveland Brown move, right? They're not thinking of the full picture. They're thinking of in the moment, oh, we could get Deshaun Watson. The Texans are like, we just want to get rid of Deshaun Watson. We just want to get out of this mess and this turmoil. Here, take him. There you go. You got him. And Cleveland thinks for the moment, yeah, we got our franchise cornerstone. He's in practice. He's throwing, balls that are over his receivers' heads and just looks like a guy that hasn't been a quarterback in years. And it's not a good look for the Cleveland Browns. Granted, it's not so much the Browns, it is Deshaun Watson. But if he gets a full ban, I mean, the Cleveland Browns are in trouble. Seriously. I mean, we've seen this in the past. We've seen how these things usually turn out. And one season could turn into several seasons. I mean, they could have traded for a guy that they may never even get to see the field. And it's an absolute disaster for the Browns. They still have Baker Mayfield, but now at this point, you've already spited Baker. Baker might not even want to play for you now. Granted, he's very likely to step into that role. It's very likely that he's going to want to raise his value so he can go to a team that he wants to go to. And maybe that fire that's lit under him of like, oh, you went with this guy and now you need me. I can see that. But given Baker Mayfield's history, I can really see him being like, you guys can go F yourself. Like, I'm not helping you. Like, you guys basically spat in my face. I'm done. Like, good luck to you. Figure it out. Trade me, right? Because he wants to be traded. He wants to be off the Browns. He feels like, he was just kind of cast to the side, thrown to the curb, and believes that he is a franchise cornerstone. Whether that's the case or not, I personally don't think so. I don't think he's a quarterback that can lead you to a Super Bowl. And I think if Deshaun Watson, look, if he didn't have all this stuff, all this baggage, then I think it would have been a great trade for the Cleveland Browns. You're trying to win a Super Bowl. You don't believe Baker's your guy. You go and get a superstar in this league and a guy that, even if he didn't play last year, like, it's a guy that you believe, like, okay, last time he played, he was dominant, right? And look at the team he had in Houston compared to the team we have here in Cleveland. We can win a Super Bowl. That is the logic. That was the thinking for the Cleveland Browns. But they weren't looking at the full scope of everything. My issue isn't that they went and got Deshaun Watson. It's that they were aware of the baggage that came with Deshaun Watson and all of the allegations and everything surrounding this circus of Deshaun Watson, and we said, we're willing to look past that. We will go beyond that which, I mean, it's a business, right? So moral, ethics, belief, whatever, all that goes out the window, right? Their job is to put together the best team possible and compete for a Super Bowl. They felt that they did that by going and acquiring Deshaun Watson. I don't have an issue because I can separate that from, like, hey, this was a business decision. This was a business move to try to compete for Super Bowls. That I understand. But given all of the stuff that is going on with him, you had to have known that this was coming. You had to have known that this was very likely going to take place, whether it was a full season ban or it was a 8-game ban. I do think he's going to be banned for some substantial amount of time, whether it's the full season or it's like 10 games or something like that. I think they're going to set an example. The NFL kind of needs that. They're always that franchise that just kind of slaps you on the wrist, and there's always that public eye of like the NFL doesn't know what they're doing. The GM, he's a mess. Like he's always one-sided, things like that. I feel like the NFL has to do something. They have to make a ban. I mean, look at Trevor Bauer with the Dodgers. I mean, his ban is still being extended even after everything was dropped. And his at least was the girl admitted was consensual. It just got a little carried away, and she got to the point where she didn't like it anymore. And that's another can of worms. But the point is, and the reason I'm bringing that up in comparison is that the MLB is still suspending Trevor even after he was cleared and acquitted because of the allegation. Just the fact that you are a star, you are an athlete, you do represent this organization that is the MLB. Therefore, we need to reprimand you and show and set an example. And I think the NFL needs to do that with Deshaun Watson because he is a big star. And there are guys that have done just as bad, if not worse things with, a slap on the wrist, and they're immediately right back there, And so the NFL needs to set that precedent of like, look, whether you did this or not, 24 allegations is a lot of allegations. Like there's something there. This isn't just like a bunch of people trying to get a cash grab. Is it very likely that a chunk of them are? I believe so, just because, when one, it's amazing how there's like 40 people that come in all this time. I'm not saying he did it. Maybe he did do it all. But we have seen many times in the past when something like this happens, all of the vultures start coming in. And, oh, yeah, anybody that even just met Deshaun Watson one time are trying to get in on this. It's like those, lawsuits that, that they throw out there and everyone can sign your name. Have you ever, bought a Big Mac in your life? Like, yeah, I have, So it's the same thing. Like, has anyone ever met Deshaun Watson? Yeah, okay, well then good. You're in the lawsuit now. Like, so I do think that it's very likely when all is said and done, it'll be boiled down to like a handful, or he's going to shovel out, $50 million to pay all these people off. Eventually, it'll probably go away for him because he is an athlete, he is a star, he does have money, and that's just how the world works, whether that's right or not. It's just how it is. And so therefore, even then, the NFL needs to set that example. They need to show, like, you are a representation of this organization. You are a star in this league. You're not a guy that is just some like into the bench guy that can just be cut and never return to the NFL. Like you're a guy that is supposed to be the face of a franchise and you went and did this. Like you're an idiot. And, and that's ultimately what it boils down to is just Deshaun Watson is an idiot. Like it blows me away that these athletes, they get this life-changing money that is generational. They're put in a position that people would die to be in, and yet they can't behave. Like it's mind-blowing to me. Like you have so many situations, so many instances of just people doing stupid stuff and their lives, and they're just hugely successful. You spent your whole life to get to this point, and you threw it all away for what? It's a mess. I mean, it's crazy to me. But, I mean, whatever the end result is, whether he gets a lifetime ban or a season ban or, it's 10 games or it's 5 games, whatever, I do think he gets a ban. That's just more time he's not playing, more time that he's not going to be able to be on the field because if he's banned, he's not going to be able to practice. He's not going to even be able to enter the Cleveland Browns Stadium for the most part. So it's just It's not a good look for the Cleveland Browns. It's not a good look for Deshaun Watson. It's not a good look for the NFL. Like, it's a lose-lose all across the board. And I just think that this is going to blow up in the Browns' face because they didn't want to look at the long term. They didn't want to look at the whole situation. They were just like, hey, star guy, Deshaun Watson, we can get him. Let's do it. Like, that's essentially what it boiled down to. Man, I understand it was a business decision. I understand that they did what they felt was necessary to compete for Super Bowls because that's their job as an organization, to put the best team on the field as possible. But with all the allegations and everything going on, they had to have known that this was coming. They had to have known that he was going to get some sort of ban. I mean, there were talks about it when he was still in Houston. Like, how long of a ban is he going to get? All of that stuff. But the Cleveland Browns still decided to take him on and still believed that they could, make it work and figure it out. But as always, this is a discussion, so I want to hear from you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. What do you think of the whole Deshaun Watson thing? What do you think of the whole Cleveland Brown thing? What do you think about both of them? What do you think about the allegations? Like I said, it's YouTube, so I can't get too heavily into it. YouTube flags certain words, certain phrases, stuff like that. But I'm sure a large majority of you know exactly what I'm talking about, the stuff that's going on. And it's disgusting and it's unnecessary. And for a guy that's in his position, like, why would you do that? Why would you throw your life away? Like, it makes no sense to me. Why, we see it all the time with, rappers and athletes and, comedians and just stars, celebrities in general. Like, they just do stupid stuff that just ruins their entire life's work. And, and then even after the ban, when he comes back, the whole conversation and narrative is going to be about that ban. Whether it's a full season or 10 games or whatever. Once he comes back, the whole conversation is going to be that, and he's going to have just all this added pressure. And if he plays terrible, now you just look you just look foolish if you're the Cleveland Browns. But love to hear your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. That being said, hit that like button. Helps me out a lot. Lets me know you enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button, followed by the bell notification. Stay up to date with all things sports. Join this wonderful community and all of our discussions. I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you.